Welcome to Reinventing the Tattoo Community. We are beaming out to primarily the app. You can find in either of the app stores, Android or Apple, as well as at community.reinventingthetattoo.com. If this is working for you, please let us know in the chat rooms so that when we do our testing, we can make sure. And this stream is with Brad Wooten, and he's going to be demonstrating he's going to be doing an art jam, and he's going to be using his Tattoo Smart Tool, Cybernetics. He's going to tell you exactly what it's named, and it's awesome. But you can either beam in and create art, whatever the fuck you want. This is an open art jam, and if you would like to join us on the Zoom, then go to that app, to go to the community, and the events folder. Actually, I could show you on a screenshot here. So this is the Reinvented Community. This is where artists come to inspire each other, and it's pretty awesome. There's like no politics, no food or pet pictures. It's all about art, inspiring each other. There are 5 to 7 live streams a week, and if you get to the community and click this very first link here is events, then you will see all the different events that we have coming up, as well as right here, we've got the watch show, but you don't want to do that. You want to click on the artist zoom in, and we can't pass this link out to the Facebooks or to the YouTubes, because then spammers get a hold of it and they ruin the whole thing. So if you head on over to the community and click on that button, then you will join us. We have a whole mess of other streams coming up. I want to tell you about them as I'm checking to make sure this is working, although it's hard to do a couple things at once. So other upcoming events. We have tomorrow at noon, on Wednesday at noon, Tattoo Now, that's me. I'm going to be going through a business plan outline and a business Q&A session, and in anticipation of relaunching a whole series of business webinars via Reinventing the Tattoo. It'll be called Reinventing the Tattoo Business. At 8 o'clock on Wednesday, we have Live in the Castro with Haley Adams and Brittany Abed. It's amazing stories of the LGBTQ plus, people of color, all sorts of interviews with people that you might not have had the chance to hear their stories before. And I know personally I'm having an awesome time listening in and checking it out. They're just an amazing set of stories with trans people, lesbian people, all sorts of awesome people. Live in the Castro happens once a month. It's happening this Wednesday, 8 o'clock with Haley Adams. Every Thursday at 12 noon, we've got the Tattoo Collecting Podcast with Fawn Baker and Jordan Ruckus. They interview amazing tattoo collectors. It's great for both even tattoo newbies to hear the point of view of tattoo collectors, also tattooers to get to hear interviews with other great tattoo collectors. That's noon every Thursday, and they have like 24, 25 episodes already up. Tattoocollecting.com, I believe. Every Sunday at 1 o'clock, we have a Reinventing Drawing Group with Jason Lesser. They're pretty awesome. Everybody, again, beams in and we're drawing. We have them Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern. This is Monday morning if you're on the East Coast. We have people beaming in from California and Oregon. It's like 6 in the morning there. It's crazy. Europe has a really easy time, 9 o'clock Monday mornings. Anyways, with Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network. He's awesome. He's got a great YouTube channel. You definitely need to check that out. This Monday, this 22nd, there's a live paint jam with Renee Little. Even though there's pretty birds pictured here, I believe it's going to be octopus or aquatic themed for the next couple of series that she does. And yeah, they happen, I think, the first Monday and the last Monday of the month. Well, one way or another, it's happening this Monday, the 22nd. And then every Monday at 9 o'clock is the Reinventing the Tattoo subscribers group, which is, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Let's see, Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, we have the How to Build a Paul Rogers Style Prefab Tattoo Machine. This is a series of 8 webinars. If you're not, no matter when you're watching this, you could catch up on the replays. And the 8 webinars, Tony is literally building by hand a tattoo machine. It's out of control awesome to watch. And he gives you the ingredient list, and if you take the course, you're going to be building your own tattoo machine along with him. Reinventingthetattoo.com/build a tattoo machine. And then, yeah, this schedule, we have all sorts of stuff. Let's see, the first Wednesday of the month, we've got art jams in Italian. So if you're speaking English as your second language and Italian as your first, or if you're trying to learn Italian, then the Wednesdays are great. It's amazing artists hosted by Stefano Fabriti. Let's see, other special events. I don't know. Just check out the event schedule. There's tons of awesome events coming up. You could catch all of the replays here in the library. And this video library here will contain all of the previous replays since we've been in this new community, and then a whole bunch from the previous years. But yeah, we have the Reinventing the Tattoo podcast, Gunnar and Travis Louis talking art with Guy Aitchison. We've got a couple of the machine builders panel in the first interview with Tony about his seminar. Russ Abbott and Guy talked about tattoo design. Brad was actually demoing his software there a little bit. It's amazing the amount of replays that we have here are just really out of control. Oh, on Mondays we have Let's Talk Tattoo with Mark from Needle Jig, the history of tattoo conventions, where Alex Van Dutch from World Tattoo Events is interviewing awesome tattoo convention promoters from Nepal, Italy, Derb from here, Kim from Brussels. They're pretty sick, and if you're missing tattoo conventions like we all are, they're really awesome to check out. We've got some Drunk Critique replays. This is the Castro replay. It's pretty out of control. And yeah, so if you want to, please definitely check it out. Our featured member of the week, of the day, of the month, who knows, our featured member for this episode is Schmack Tattoo. And they've got some serious realistic 3D tattoos. And yeah, he's been contributing pretty awesomely and is actually looking into potentially getting a visa to travel the States. So if you're interested in this style of work, or you have a tattoo shop that might be interested in having him as a guest, then yeah, look him up. I want to blast our sponsors real quick before we get started. I know I'm yabbering on a little bit, but we want to thank Inkjet Stencils for making all of these streams free to everybody. And if you are looking to get a sample, they have a way to get free inkjet stencils. So if you treat 5 of your pictures and then send them to the inkjet stencils, I believe your emails at let's get the email here. It's inkjetstencils@gmail.com, and this is the way that you treat the pictures to send to them. They'll send you 5 samples, so you could try it out before you even before you buy the printer and everything. A lot of shops and a lot of artists are really digging this setup, so it's definitely something we're happy to be plugging. And we do also have a full digital editing for Inkjet Stencils webinar here, so you can check that out. Another sponsor that we have is Loose Screw Tattoo. Wicked excited. Jesse Smith's awesome. He's an amazing artist, an amazing shop owner, awesome entrepreneur. And he has an opening for a full-time resident. I am pulling up the help wanted here on my phone real quick because it's awesome. He has got, here we go. Sorry, give me 2 seconds here. I apologize. But it is an amazing opportunity. So Loose Screw Tattoo, it's in Richmond, Virginia. He's looking for a resident. They are wicked busy. So, you know, if you're willing to do great tattoos, they've got them for you. Okay, here's the help wanted ad. We are looking for an artist who is motivated, diverse, and capable of doing both color and black and gray tattoos. All supplies are covered with health, dental, paid vacation, 401k options. When they got shut down, everyone went right on unemployment. Yeah, it's fucking amazing. This is perfect for someone who is looking to build a solid foundation as an artist. Other keywords to sprinkle throughout this sentence are busy shop. It's a wicked busy shop full of awesome tattooers with a good attitude. You also have to have a good attitude and be eager to learn. If you let them know that you found out about the job opening or the guest spot here on Reinventing the Tattoo, then you're already a leg up because you clearly want to learn and are hanging with good company. Okay. Oh, courses.reinventingthetattoo.com or reinventing. Oh, well, here we go. Courses.reinventingthetattoo.com is how we actually make a living here. This is Guy Aitchison's Canon. It used to be 350 amazing pages of tattoo knowledge in a book with DVDs. And then about 8 years ago, we put it all online. And then part of this whole new technological platform transformation for Reinventing includes bringing Reinventing onto a new educational online platform. So it's broken down into chapters, lessons, all of the webinars are there, and he does exclusive exercises every Monday. So you can join Guy Aitchison and work with him and the whole crew of Reinventing artists every Monday, and they pick exercises out of the canon. Usually they do them in sets of 4 or 5. They did the elements a couple weeks ago. And if you do check this out, there is a way to get, well, I already signed up for it, but you can get some free lessons to try out before you commit. But it's worth the $300 a year, any day of the week. There are also other courses. Bob Tyrrell's got a 10-hour black and gray epic webinar from a couple years ago. BJ Betts, Gogwe size, doesn't matter when he tattooed Guy's hand, Biomech from Marcus Leonard, all sorts of great things. You can't learn how to tattoo here, but you could possibly learn how to tattoo better. No, you definitely can learn how to tattoo better. You definitely make better art, that's for sure. Anyways, if you click on the catalog link here, it's worth making sure that everyone's aware that Guy Aitchison has his own set of products that he sells, fully published, created by himself. He does it all himself. It's out of control. This Biomech encyclopedia took him like 8 years to put together, and we'll probably talk about it a little bit. It's fucking out of control. If you love Biomech at all, then get in it. I think Giger even has pictures and shit in there. Out of control. Okay, so that is the intro. I'm going to fall into the background. If you have any questions, comments, inspirations, I do have a browser fired up so I can do some screen sharing, and I will hop back in to read some of those comments. Let's bring in Brad, and Ricardo's already here on the line. Oh, just real quick to reiterate, if you want to zoom in, download the Reinventing the Tattoo app or go to community.reinventingthetattoo.com, click that events link, and the Zoom link is right there. And we do these often, so once you get it all set up, you won't have to worry about trying to get it all set up again. Well, I'm going to hop in the background, and Brad and Ricardo are definitely way better at art than I am, so cheers.
What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, not too much. Just pretty excited about this session. I literally just got your brush set. Just picked it up.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah. Have you touched it once?
I did just now, man. I'm really digging already how the patterns, no matter where you lay them down, middle of the screen, or you can put one right on top of it, and they're lining up perfectly. That's incredible.
Yeah. One of the only changes that I thought that I would update to it was just making the minimum sizes a little bit larger. Because sometimes I just notice people are like having to scrub for a little long to get. People are wanting to do these big gradients of fading patterns and things like that. And well, that would just be easier if your brush started out at a larger size. I was thinking about increasing that. That was pretty much it. That was the only thing I've really seen. Anything else people have been using it for.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to check it out today with you, man.
Yeah, I've got this little view set up right here where I can pretty much show anyone anything that's curious about it.
Is there anything that you've been working on recently with the tools, with the brushes?
Well, let's see. What can I show?
What's up, Ethan?
What's up, man?
Some of these now. Hello.
Where are you beaming in from, Ethan? Is this your first time on one of these streams?
Yeah, on first time on the Zoom. From St. Louis.
Awesome. And where do you tattoo?
It's called Denwin Art and Design. I'm still a little bit in my apprenticeship right now, so.
Awesome. That's great.
Oh.
Right on, man. Welcome.
Well, thanks.
Fresh meat.
All right.
Yeah. Throw them in the grinder.
Yeah.
And are you able to share your screen or show off some of your art with us, or?
I'm still kind of getting this all figured out right now. I just kind of wanted to come in and see about the Zoom meeting and check your guys' stuff out.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you very much. How'd you find out about it?
So one of the guys that tattoos at the shop, suggested Guy Aitchison because I've been really interested in Biomech for a couple of years, but I didn't really know where to turn for the artist, and he suggested Guy Aitchison, and then right off the bat I was like, okay, this is it. So
yeah, he's pretty much the foundation of that.
Yeah, I went ahead, got a membership, and have been trying to run the curriculum and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. Have you joined any of the Monday exercises yet, or?
I'm going to be doing that here soon. I was just telling my girlfriend about that yesterday, that I'm going to start doing that in the morning ones.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Awesome. Very exciting. Yeah. And so how can people find you online? Do you have an Instagram, or are you on the posting up any pictures in the app?
No, not yet. Like I said, I'm just really kind of getting fully into all this right now. So
cool.
But I'll be getting some stuff together soon.
Sweet.
What kind of stuff do you do?
I like to do a little bit of realism, some abstract stuff. I really want to get more into the Biomech, like neo-traditional type stuff.
So
Cool.
that's kind of everything pretty much.
Yeah, a little bit right
Mhm.
now. Just trying to dial in one particular style while I'm learning tattooing as a whole. I had a little bit of traditional training like oil painting and stuff, but that was about 10 years ago. So I'm trying to. I was making music and stuff, and once I decided to put that down and take art up again, I pretty much came into an apprenticeship, and that's where I've just been for the last about 6 months or so. So
Rad. I've been picking up some oil paints for the past probably like about 10 years or so, man. Really
Yeah.
starting to get into it now. It's a lot of fun, dude. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I loved oil painting when I did it. I picked up some other stuff and it kind of took my attention away from it. But I've been, I re-upped my set. I got all my a little limited gamut of colors and some mixer and knives and all that stuff. But I just sit on it and I don't know what I want, what I would hang on a wall. That's my biggest question about it, because I've gotten so entrenched into some of this kind of workflow type of thing.
Well, it looks really cool, man. The way it's complementing the body already, it's fantastic, dude. And like so large scale too,
You know what? I need a sketcher. There we go. I like these starting off with this better. Oh yeah, cool. Thanks. Yeah, this is something that was kind of the hardest parts for me is figuring out how to make something feel complete without overdoing it. So I
Yeah.
really like the simplicity of what's going on with this right now. It just needs that a little bit of like fine grain touch to it that's what takes me the like 9 hours on something. Like I'll get started with something cool in the first 10 minutes, and then for the next 9 hours, I'm just trying to make it pass for like I spent some time on it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's
Brad, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody? Let them know a little bit about your history and what you got going on.
Yeah, sure. If you don't know, my name's Brad Wooten, I guess. Wooten. If you're from Alabama, Wooten. That's it. And I made a brush set a little not too long ago. It's got some. Let me pull it out here, and it does some wild stuff. Let's see here. Let me pull this out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do some of this. Some of that.
Crazy.
Maybe pull out the dots over here. Got this. I really like nano right here.
Okay.
So kind of it's actually it's a pattern from architecture. I forget the name of the I don't know. At some point, I knew the name of whoever came up with that.
Yeah.
That's just so sick. So you like have all of the different brushes hitting on all the different like the same kind of points, right? That's
Yeah, for the isometric set at least. If I go to go to the cube form of this too, and it's also doing the same thing here. Yeah, there we go. You can sit down there and picking it up till it gets to whatever point that you like it at. But I mostly, that was just kind of something that I stumbled into as I started making it. But as far as for filling up these kind of pattern areas like this, the more complex things, I tend to use these as more like flat, constantly width changing patterns inside of bigger areas like this, and just kind of keep it really simple. And then the other way that I do things is more in this kind of way, where you can take images and manipulate them and keep everything separate. You see this the sort of value structure that's stuck in there is separated from the sort of the grain pattern of what's happening. So you can really draw any kind of image and then apply these sorts of effects to it, and you get this is something that's in the tutorials that I play around a lot with.
That's cool.
A couple things here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see how, the values stay the same. I can make this as large or small as I want.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of. It's pretty much the way I've been working in Photoshop, but I just kind of found some ways to translate it into doing it in Procreate. Because I don't want to sit at this big computer the whole time. Sometimes I just want to go and recline on the couch at the shop or something.
So fuck it, create it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to develop the set? And is there like programming involved, or is it more like manipulating of the?
Well, what I had to do was I had to go onto. I actually had to create the grain pattern in the brushes in Illustrator, and then I had to run them through Photoshop and kind of rearrange them and stack them in different ways, and then I exported it from Photoshop out into Procreate, where I could actually use it in the set. But I had to create these sort of perfect gradients down in this. If you see this grain source right here, what's in that? What you see in that window is actually a softer version than what you actually get in the end. In the end result here, which is because of the hard mix blending mode, which is something that I've found so useful since I learned, at least, how you can use it with black and white. I actually just recently started doing some things with Photoshop on it that
Cool.
falling back into using it with Photoshop. It's been really fun.
Now, Brad, I have a question for you. A lot of your tattoos, do you go with this kind of geometric patterns in a lot of your designs and a lot of your tattoo art? A lot of tattoos you do?
A lot of tattoos that I do, like here's one that I ended up doing. This is just the digital design of it. Where are you? Here he is.
Killer.
This one that I ended up tattooing, and it looks almost exactly like this. I used the brush set in this the part that's like coming down across the top of the arm right up there, but I just hand drew the rest of it in there once he actually came in.
Yeah.
These days I try and design, if I have to stencil something, I'm going to put it in a place where I can have a little bit more flexibility to stencil. I don't want to like stencil from the back of the arm all the way around to the front of the arm and try and navigate the way the folds and sometimes I've tried to take stencils from the top of the shoulder here, and I end up with like this circular. Come on, get out of here.
It's not cooperating.
No. Yeah, I do lots of. I used to do this a lot, where I would have someone's arm, and someone's arm here in real life, and then I would draw onto it with markers, and then I would actually contact paper, and you would actually like peel it off of their arm here. So it's not like the saran wrap, where some people put like plastic wrap over top of it, and then they come back with markers again over top of that. It's just really, really sticky. It's called contact paper. You can put it like in the bottom of drawers. You can pull it off and put it on a white sheet of paper and mount it. But every time I try and come up around the ball of the shoulder right here, I end up with something that's has a cut like that in it. And you eventually have to bring these back together again. Sort of when you stencil it. So a full design. If there's a face on it right here, you'd end up with the face split right over here.
Yeah.
For the way that it sort of makes this cone shape around the shoulder there. And man, screw that. Like I can't. Yeah. I've tried for so long. In my first year of tattooing, I believe, I was trying to find this sort of like a universal map, something that I could kind of draw onto and like just perfectly let it melt into a person's arm like it always belonged there. But you can't really do that. So I started drawing directly onto people and then pulling it off. So you kind of have a sort of, it's kind of like a half map, half design, but then you're sort of stuck with that kind of design that you just kind of drew onto them in that moment,
Right.
Days I just take photos of people and do a new design for each angle,
Yeah. So it sounds like the tools that you're using like helps out exponentially with the time that you're putting into it, because it kind of helps you take your image or the idea that you have in your head and kind of be able to put it down a little bit faster, a little bit more fluid.
Yeah. Well, at least when it comes to this set, at least, like I want to do lots of parallel, like regular parallel lines and big swaths of grays going through it. And that just saves me so much time.
Yeah.
To be able to lay those out there like that and adjust the curve how I want it and adjust the density of those lines too. That's
Yeah.
that's something that you can't just draw all those in there and be like, oh well, these look a little spaced out. You know, then
Yeah.
you have to erase all those and take all the time to get all those lines straight once again.
Yep. It's like it almost takes a full day of just drawing on them and kind of working out the problems together and everything like that. And this kind of cuts all that down out of the equation entirely. So it's awesome.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but I did hear that though.
Well, I
what
was
am I?
talking about just like the amount of time that it takes that you're able to take. You cut all that stuff out. You know what I mean? All that time, like it almost takes a full day just to sit down with somebody and draw a lot of those things on and make all the corrections and stuff like that along the way. But this is just eliminating that process and almost entirely. So
Yeah, it gives you a really high ceiling for how complex you can get because you can do so much more in the amount of time that you have to draw on your
yeah,
piece.
right. Yeah, that's cool. What's that saying? Is the necessity is the mother of all invention or something like that? Or sounds like
Yeah,
sounds like you took that and just made it, man. It's awesome.
yeah. A lot of times I end up. Let me pull up Photoshop here. I don't want to get it deep into Photoshop. That might be dangerous. But yeah, a lot of I kind of end up inventing like little. I'm not inventing anything here. I'm just using the program, but I make little ecosystems sort of for me to draw inside of.
Yeah.
Like I'll let's see here. Here is which one do I want to pull up? I'll just come back into here. Got some photos of clients in here. It's kind of dangerous to be like hovering my finger around them.
Right.
I don't want to stream some of that stuff. But like an ecosystem where you see how it has this sort of fake tattoo pattern in here, and I can come into here and continually. Oops, let me pull this up. Yeah, you can keep that same coloration for the entire duration of like while I'm drawing on it, because I really hate drawing a tattoo design and not being able to see exactly what it's supposed to be coming out like in the most realistic. I would really prefer to actually just have their body always available there,
Mm-hmm.
for them to not actually be there, like
Mm-hmm.
my private time with the figure and all that stuff. If we can get into 3D scanning and VR drawing, we're not far away from that. I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure someone out there has some kind of body scanner. They already have them for like people that want to measure their BMI and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Digitize their gym progress.
Yeah. We'll have to get some Star Wars kind of hologram things going, man. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, and with like all the VR stuff
Yep.
that they've got now, you could literally just put the headset on and be able to walk around the figure and actually draw on it that way too.
That'll be wild.
The tricky part is going to be taking their body and like moving their arm up.
Yeah.
And stretching those things, because all of this expands so much when you get to doing that.
Yep.
There's this invisible seam, I swear, that runs about like right here that you you don't see it from this angle, you don't see it from this angle. It's only when they lift their arm up do you see that. And there's just so much expansion and stretching that happens right there. That's, most of those body scanners are not probably making an armature inside of the shapes that they're creating from the scan. So yeah, they have a little further that we have to go to get
just
there.
a little bit. Yeah, it'll be pretty wild when they do it, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, if it stays stiff, that's fine too. Just hold it out there and take a scan. You just have to draw on their arm or their body flagging, like a Cirque du Soleil acrobat or something.
Yeah, so I think what you were talking about a little bit ago about trying to make the image as real as possible was you're manipulating the cast shadows and like those different tones that kind of come through on the contour of the body in comparison to where the light source is coming from is what you're meaning by that, right?
Are you talking about with the sort of tattoo skin effect?
Yeah, that's what I was, because you had mentioned a little bit ago about how, when you draw a design on an image or an image of a person, you don't like the way that it looks kind of flat or not cohesive, I think is like that. Cool. Right. Yes, exactly.
Like that,
That's the difference. Yeah. Right.
You're
That's
talking
awesome.
about the difference right here.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
it.
It's really, this is actually really something simple. Really something really simple to do. If you have your original image of your, you can even just use the Protoplast models
Yep.
too. But if you have this, you just set it on top, and let the tattoo pigment sort of be like below it down here.
Okay.
But you do have to do couple things. You have to turn it, this layer onto multiply, then duplicate it, and set this next one to lighter color. Now, go to hue saturation, turn down that brightness. Where is it going up? Is that right? Oh, I don't have my black layer on there so you can see it. Anyway, it was up here. Then you turn this down. Let me go ahead and undo that so that will be clear. All right, so you just change that from multiply to hue saturation. Bring down that brightness. You can see it start to work right there. You turn down your saturation. That's it right there. So,
Nice.
you know,
Amazing.
to me, that's just, it's easier for me to see, like, I mean, you know, when these tattoos heal up, your contrast just gets crushed immediately. I will say, though, like, this doesn't work as well if you're going to have shading in it. So if I were to have, let's say, let me just draw a big blob right here. I'm going to blur it out so it's all very soft. You can kind of see this sort of cutoff period.
Yeah.
Right there, where it starts to kind of activate, and the rest of it is sort of warmer. It's kind of blending in between it. So if you see, if I turn this on and off, it kind of hits this, it sort of bottoms out a lot of times when you have this layer on top. So with the ways that I'm doing things, it works perfectly fine because I'm only using black, and I'm using here. Let me see here. Duplicate layer. I'm going to move it over here. I'm only using black and some grays. And a lot of times I'll just determine those grays by actually just sliding the opacity. Like this. I mean, and if you make something, if you see this clipping mask down here, it's actually just a little white outline that fills in the body, and you can actually turn clipping mask on everything above it.
Okay.
To
Killer.
stay inside of the silhouette of the figure. You know, so you can you can really rip your pencil back and forth across there if you want to have a stroke that's got some energy in it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, you've already shown me like so many different things in Procreate that I had no idea how to use. So that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, I do have all those images you sent over. Should I fire up maybe some of your tattoos to show off your work a little bit?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I'm much better at talking if I have like a little contact point about it.
Well, yeah, obviously. Okay, so this is the demo I'm looking at here, right? That you sent over.
This is these are screen grabs from the trailer that I made. Yeah.
Oh,
So
we
they
definitely got to get that video.
Okay.
We could post up a trailer to the video in the community for sure.
Okay.
Ah, look at that.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah. That one is. Here it is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this one here was made with the set.
That's great.
Yeah, what I actually did was I did enlarge some of them to fit in the side of here, but let's see, I used all the things I had shown you before, except I used it with color too as well. There's also this other section inside of the set. It's this kind of constructor set, where it's basically you can get the top sides, the tops and two left and right sides of the sort of isometric cube pattern. And that was how I was able to actually create all these sort of differently lit panels. Separate some of the parts out of that, you know. I have how about this? Time-lapse replay. This is fun.
Cool.
You can scrub through this a little bit, kind of see some of that progress. You guys still hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
I have some audio problems here.
It's hard to tell. This is cool. Love all the watching some of this live creation. We're actually after this, we've got a phone call with Android Jones. to maybe work on a paint party with him. You guys know Android Jones?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. Look him up on the YouTubes.
Okay. Andrew?
Android Jones.
Android Jones. Okay. I'll write that in a note real quick.
Yeah. He does a lot of like live art creation, with DJs and people tripping out and parties, and he also works a lot in VR. I think
Does he do the like the projection mapping type stuff?
Yeah, he does.
That's really cool.
He's out of fucking control. He's as big as guy is in the tattoo world, Android in the psychedelic world. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
And this
I'm
almost
back
looks like the tipper type visual sort of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so yeah, be on the Equinox, March 21st. I think we'll have a Android Jones party. Well, we'll see. I got to confirm everything up. I'm probably just spreading vicious rumors on Brad's time here. Sorry.
I'm back. I think I fixed my audio. You guys can hear me still.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody's got a little bit of a crunch. I don't know if it's you or somebody's got a beard, but
Oh, it might be me. I'm sorry about that, man. Let me move it out of the way.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So is this brush set an available brush set though? That geometry one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're gonna.
Yeah. This is all the same brush set. It's called Cyberfluidics. It's on Tattoo Smart.
Okay, cool.
Came out like probably about a week ago or so.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been playing with that sort of stuff, but just to do it is so hard to just get everything straight the first time, and it's such a time-consuming process.
Yeah, for sure it is. Yeah. The way that I at least like to kind of start off by using it is by, you have those really complex patterns, and I like to start off with like a really, really thick and bold one, and just kind of find like a sort of a base note basically, and then come in inside of those, and then do your finer, like one, maybe two more patterns inside of that. But then as long as you can actually you keep your layers separated, you can do all the fine tuning that you want.
Sure.
What's the things I've been working on though?
Yeah, let me show off some of your tattoos here. I got some of the other slideshows, or I guess these are some of the tattoo. These are some of the tattoo designs that are done with this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So wait, is this tattoo?
No,
this
these
is not
are
tattoo.
these are just designs that I've done. These are
Okay,
just
this is
designs
tattooed.
that
This is
I've done.
tattooed. Yeah, cool.
This was. This is from 2017. This is just digital.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like all the flow around the collarbone on that last one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it dips in with the flow of just the shapes.
It's so tricky to make it look believably flowing on the body. Like, I just had to eyeball it. That was
like that line there is fucking out of control.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember it's digital. This isn't isn't a real one. Yeah.
Dang.
Now you could totally make this one with the brush set. Absolutely.
And you're tattooing stuff like this every day up in Portland? Is that where you are? You skipped over you were like, I started tattooing and then I started creating this brush set. But so let people know. So you're in Portland and you're tattooing full time. And
yeah, I'm in Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine for now. Yeah. That might change in about a year or two.
Where would you go?
Yeah, this is also a really old one. So this is like, where would I go?
Yeah. Any idea? I mean,
probably back down south. I've been gone from home for about 15 years. And I've got, I really love it here, but I don't know.
It's gonna be cold as fuck right now.
Long time. Yeah.
What were you
Down
saying
there,
about this?
it is. Some of these images are from a few years ago when I first was kind of stumbling into some of these techniques and things like that. And you see here, I have like a circular sort of substrate kind of pattern that I'm working with here. And, we might be able to release some more different kinds of patterns this way. I tried to mostly create this set to be really versatile for how some people might really enjoy using it. Like the isometric part of the whole set, I really enjoyed. So the organic area has been But some of these circular patterns that we had going on there were a little bit more specific that we might be able to release in something later on.
We got Patrick from Wales beamed in. Hey, Patrick.
Hi, Gabe. How are you? Hi, Brad.
Hello.
Thank you very much for doing.
What you doing?
For doing this and also creating the brush set. It's quite something.
Oh, sure. Awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. With my face buried into it for so long, you just lose perspective, and I have no idea how good something might be until I run it by, 1,000 people.
I used it,
but I've been hearing great things about it, and that's exciting. What's that?
I used it the other night for a reinventing the tattoo exercise. So what it was incredibly useful for was using it as a shortcut to create texture. So just as you're doing on the leaves there, I used, I think the skin one, and that was a.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I saw that. I saw you post that.
I tagged you. Yeah.
This one down here. Yeah, it's a hexagon pattern pushed through like a wave filter.
And does that?
I had a bunch of other weird ones like that didn't make it in. What's that?
Is that? It's hard to tell from looking at it, but is that screen orientated? Does it move with the screen?
Oh, it can. You just gotta come into it like this, go to properties, and click on orient to screen right there.
Okay,
by default, all the brushes are set to off. That's just so it's easier to line them up.
Okay.
If you turn them 90 degrees, they will turn every 90 degrees with the set with the canvas. But yeah, so you can turn that switch on for any of the brushes that you want. But you just have to be careful about the next time you move it, because you probably it's about impossible to get this canvas if I line it up this way and then I move it. It's about impossible for me to get it vertically lined up the exact same way than it was before.
Understood.
If you plan on if you really want to stack the brushes that way. Yeah. There are other ways around it, depending. Like if you already have something that you like, you can duplicate the layer and do some filtering and adjustments to it like that. But yeah,
I to be honest, I thought it was rotating with the screen, and it was on the small brush. So obviously my mind was playing tricks on me.
Well, like I said, so let me pull this up here. So if I come into it like this, if I turn it 45 degrees, it still won't. But if I turn it past 45 degrees, it is going to turn. You see how it's turned this way now? Now, if I turn it 180, it's going to line up, with your screen this way.
Right. So where is that? Properties you take? It's on the properties.
Yeah, you go open the brush, properties, and the second switch down right there.
Yeah. Use stamp, second switch down. Orient to screen. Okay. But awesome. Done.
Yeah.
I found it really useful for getting like the curves on that. I don't know how well you can see that, if at all.
Oh, hold on. Let me get you on here.
Can you see? Can you do that, Gabe? There you go.
I saw the image that you posted. Yeah.
So it was like a grey background. Whoops. There you go. A grey background, and then I can't remember, the external one, and then the internal, and then erased to get the white at the top, erased with the what's it called? And then just worked over it with an airbrush. And yeah, it's to create an image that accurately, I just couldn't do it. Whereas just for a shorthand of it's got to look approximately like a crustacean texture. It's just perfect for it. Really
Yep.
good.
Yeah, it's awesome to see people see you getting some use out of it. The
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, messing around with this here a little bit. Yeah, and you gotta. I have to be really careful with it too, because everything can get really complex really simply.
Yeah.
Or sorry, really complex really quickly.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, like sometimes like tattooing some things that the brush will make it can get pretty dangerous. You know, like put myself in a position where someone's expecting something that I cannot do.
Yeah. So so whilst you can whilst you can draw it on Procreate, there's still has to have that conversation still has to be had with a client. Look, this is, I can't actually I can't actually tattoo that, but you get the idea. It's got to look something a bit like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right. Oh man, that's still, for me at least, that's dangerous. I don't even show them I don't ever try and show them something more complicated than what I could do.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause I just don't even want that to sort of be like in the cloud of ideas or something. You know?
Yeah.
That's another reason I do try and do these types of like showing it literally on the body, because it's not so much for me either, but it's also for them.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to present something that, well, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do the drawings for people, but I'll actually take a screen recording of it and do a time lapse. Procreate does it automatically, but I also do it on my computer. And but they'll see all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into a design, and it'll be clear what it would sort of finally look like the entire time.
Yeah.
And people just love it. You know, I love watching it too afterwards. If I have not worked on something in a couple of weeks and I come back to it, I kind of need to watch the video
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah, I
sort
feel
of
like that's definitely a
find
big
my
factor.
railroad tracks again. Yeah.
Earlier, you mentioned the Procreate, the Tattoo Smart Protoplast figures,
Yep.
and how you can put various bits and pieces on top of them. I have done it once or twice following your tutorials on YouTube, the Tattoo Smart page. But I do with a Protoplast. Have you is it got to be on a white background or something like that?
Yeah, because no Procreate brush. Well, they do actually. They do come with. You can do two colors in a Procreate brush, but for what we're talking about, and for the way that these Protoplast brushes exist, what you want to do first off is you want to. Here, I have this little shortcut on my pen. There we go. You have to fill it up with white first.
Right.
Then you can come in, dot it in there, and then you can. Yeah, so doing that layering technique with the skin and all that type of thing, I would have to come in here first like this, and then duplicate that, and then do all the things that I described earlier.
Yeah.
On how to get the skin effect working correctly.
Right. And that.
But yeah,
that
it has to be a
works okay.
solid layer.
Right. Okay. With you.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, what was the other thing I found? Oh yeah, can you actually change those? Once you've made your decision with the saturation and the tones, the hues, or whatever it is, yeah, and you come out of that
for the tattoo skin.
On that layer, and you come out of it, and it's like you think, oh, it looks a bit green. Can you then go back in and change that, or do you have to delete that entire layer?
No, I mean you can totally change it.
Okay.
Well, it's a yes and no answer.
Right,
so like
okay.
if you're using Protoplast, you don't have to worry about color, obviously. But if you are working with something that let's see, let me pull this up. If you are working with something with color like this, see, I've already desaturated this, and I can't come back into this and resaturate it. It just does not do that.
Okay.
You can change the brightness still.
Yeah.
It still has brightness, but it has no saturation. It doesn't know what what hue to saturate it to.
Because it's black and gray.
Right, but what you can't in Photoshop, you can. What you're thinking about is like what smart objects do in Photoshop, and the more you get familiar with this kind of stuff, digital artwork is so great because if you could just dream up what you want it to do, there's probably 15 different ways to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just about getting familiar with that and getting familiar with all the different ways that you can move through it, and that's what allows you to move so quickly through digital art.
Yeah. So on the tattoo smart thing, you said create 2 layers, fill one up, and then merge it down, didn't you? Was that it?
Yeah, here. Yeah, here. So you got a picture of someone right there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so first thing I would do is I would probably make a new layer below it and make a big mark. Like, here we go. Let's make a big one like this so that you can really see what's going on. And your skin layer should be on top, set to multiply.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, about my Apple Pencil's going out of charge, so I've got to use my finger. It's not liking it. Go on, let's make a few layers and then come on. Hey, there we go. Right, so on the layer below Protoplast, make a big mark, yeah, on say black.
Mm-hmm. Make sure it's just make it as if there were going to be a tattoo there.
Okay. So like 100% or bigger than that. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what it is, does it? Just some sort of scribble, yeah?
Yeah, it's something that you can see.
Okay. Yep. Okay, and then layer 2. So I've got that's on layer 3. Yeah. My layer above that is a Protoplast.
Okay.
So.
All right. What is that set to? What's the blending mode for your Protoplast? Should be multiply.
No, normal. Change it to multiply. Yep.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Got that. Yep.
What is going on? What is this layer on top that you got?
That's the one I'm going to fill in
open
white.
Up your layers for a second.
Yeah. There you go.
All
so
right.
That's
your Protoplast layer should be filled in with white behind it.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to do that now. Yeah, hang about. Come on. Yeah. So that's that one. Plop. And then, oh God, how did you do that? That one, layer 1, come off it. Layer 1 goes on top. Yeah. Then merge down. Like so. Yeah.
I can't see it at all.
Patrick, if you want to turn down your brightness to like 50%.
Oh God. Right.
I don't know if that's easy or not, but
it looks like you put your Protoplast. Okay, maybe there is something there. Okay. Because it looked like you just used white for your Protoplast model.
Oh, it's right. Okay. It's just like beige, isn't it? How do I, Gabe? How do I turn down the brightness?
Click a bunch of buttons. I don't know. Are you on a
iPad?
You might be able to just like drag down from the top. Yeah, you're getting there. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Brightness. Ooh.
Yeah, that'll help us see it.
There you go.
Thanks.
Then we go into, where were you? You're on that one, weren't you?
You were not drawing.
I was on Procreate.
Yeah, if you're drawing in Procreate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I can see.
Yeah. Okay. So the what's it called? Protoplast is beige. Yeah. That's on multiply. Yeah. On level 2. Yeah. How's that? So what's next?
You should probably use black for the Protoplast is the thing.
Oh, okay.
Because if you use a color that's lighter than black, like then it's gonna look like you're looking at it through mist or fog. You know.
Okay. Right. Right. Rats. Okay. So I've got to get rid of layer 2 then, haven't I? Just clear that.
Yeah.
You're being very
So
patient.
very simply, this is the way that you should create a protoplast layer. First, fill it with white.
Yeah.
So you make sure that you take a look at your layer and make sure that it's white.
Yeah.
Fill it with white.
Okay. So that's layer 2. Fill that with white.
All right. Yeah. Check your layer.
Yeah, that's white.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. Now come to your protoplast model and put one in there with black attached to it, with your black set as your color.
So, okay. Yeah, with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now pop it in there.
That one done. Come on. Okay, they're going in there.
If it's blue, it's already selected. There you go. Now change the blending mode to multiply.
Multiply.
Oh, you see, you made a new layer for that for your protoplast version.
Oh yeah. Oh right. So
you shouldn't. Yeah, you don't have to do that. Just merge that down.
Yeah, got it now. Right.
There you go. Multiply. That's what you wanted. You wanted one layer that way. Yeah. Now duplicate that and change it to lighter color.
Oops. Come on. Duplicate. Change that one to lighter color. Where are we? There we are. Lighter color. Right. Okay. So that disappeared.
Yeah. Now you can do the hue saturation adjustment,
which is the magic wand thing, isn't it? Hue saturation layer.
That's right. And the second one down, and that's it.
Okay. Right. So because that's black, there's no tone in there at all, is there? There's no like skin.
Tone usually means value or lightness or darkness. Okay. So are you talking about the color?
Because the protoplast is gray, there's no hues in there, is there?
That's right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And if you wanted to add skin tone to it, you'd probably take your original protoplast model and actually apply some solid color over top of that, you know?
Okay. So
set to probably a blending mode, you know?
Okay, I think I've got you. Rather than using, because there's Tattoo Smart, when with Protoplast, it comes with like a palette of like skin tones. Yeah. So you're saying don't necessarily use those to create the
well, I would not use them on the thing itself. What I would probably do, at least myself, is Gabe, if you want to show my layers, is I would make a layer over top of your protoplast model.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, here. So let me open this up. So what I'm going to do here is I have my gray protoplast right there. I'm going to make a new one.
Yep.
And let me go to airbrushing. That's fine. And you're going to put the skin tone in here, but now I can change the blending mode. That looks pretty good. Overlay. You know, because you don't. Here we go. Yeah. Because here's you can use the color as the brush for the protoplast model, but the thing is like it's kind of like
that's not
the brush itself goes from black to white, and you don't want your blacks to be lighter than black, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, with you.
Yeah, but this is cool too. Anyways, if you just get used to using layers this way. Here, you know what? I don't even have to stay inside of the lines. What am I doing? Bam. You know?
There you go.
So then it looks a little funny. Now I can come into here, decrease the saturation, change the hue a little bit, turn down the brightness, all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
That looks better.
Yeah.
You know? But even for me, maybe that the skin lightness right there is a little bit off. So let me do another layer up at the top. I'm going to change this blending mode to something that's just going to affect the highlights. Probably going to be, yeah, maybe just a multiply and turn down. There we go. Turn down the opacity on that. So there's 100 ways to get towards this, you know.
Cool. I do have a question in from the chat room from, if this is who I think it is, he's a sick tattooer. I can't pronounce his name, it's Greek. Konstantinos Gregoriou. Okay, what about those empty first brushes on your Tattoo Smart set? They seem empty to me.
They are empty. They are not brushes. They are, here, let me pull it up. They are instructions. They are a legend key. Blue is the small size of the brush, green is medium, and red is large. And so on for the other things here. So you see here, it's like these are the small versions of Proto, these are the medium versions, these are the large versions. It's extra large just for that one. Large brushes right here. They're just a legend key. You know, I wasn't about to. I was making the set, and it just seemed useful. You know, if you didn't get it immediately upon looking at it, then I failed a little bit. Then, but
there might be a translation of again, he's potentially Greek, but on the other hand, I don't know. You might have just a little like README or something with it too. That might be a good little tip to.
A little what?
Somehow. Like a README, or I don't know if there's a way to put in a little, like this is a key.
Yeah, I think we were about to do that, and then just a bunch of last minute decisions ended up, I guess, in us not doing it, because some of the READMEs almost started to seem a little bit more complicated than this legend key was going to turn out to be. We were trying to put pictures with it to describe exactly what they do, but it's kind of like an active living kind of brush where these are stretching open and closing back up together. You see, so this is the arrow means that it's a directional variant. So for instance, like with this linear set right here, everything here is vertical, but as soon as an arrow pops up, it changes down to like it changes by 60 or 30 degrees depending on where you put 0. Say like there's a downward angle one and then an upward angle one. And those are angled into isometric. That fits in the same with the isometric grid. Inverted versions here. So anything that has like this cycle symbol up on the end of that is the grain pattern inverted. And that is useful for things like, where are we? Here we go. How about here? Things like this. So here's the standard one, and here is the inverted version. See, one is like more like the center mass, starting out from the center mass, the other starting out from the line edge. But you can also, if I start with the center mass, and if you erase with the inverted version, you see sort of push and pull, and you don't have to undo and try to redo what you did before. You can still manipulate it.
Cool. They said thank you very much. Okay, it's like a walkthrough. Thanks a lot.
I hope that helps.
Yep, it does help. They thought they did something wrong, but knowing this is great.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that way. You'll also see the empty spaces for the families, and it's the reason I kind of put these little family markers like right here in there is because when you're scrolling fast, you just kind of I just keep a lookout for like a big black right there, and that way I know that I'm changing chapters. Because there's like almost 300 in this list here, and to be able to do this and quickly identify exactly where you are every little bit helps.
Cool. I have your tattoos fired up here too. Let me. It's now a good time to go through your tattoos, or yeah, cool.
Sure. I also have something interesting I'm working on in Photoshop. If you guys are interested in that later. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, so let's go through some tattoos, then we could do that, and then probably be on about an hour and a half then. Well, this is awesome. I'm not going to shut anything off. Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is like a series. You have a little series of these, or yeah, cool.
Well, yeah, no, I just sent you. I didn't know which ones you would like to use. I have a few photos of that So that one.
Oh,
that one
okay,
was
these are the
really
same,
popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slightly different one. That one's got a little bit more chaotic inside of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are all cool.
Yeah, those first four are all the same tattoo. If you scroll down, you're gonna find some other stuff.
So cool. Have you ever caught up with Marcus Leonard or?
Mm-hmm. I try to get him to talk to me.
Yeah.
He's doing his own mountain biking.
Yeah.
Getting
He's
taking pictures of mushrooms.
yeah, I do. I catch up with him every like third or fourth time I try. Yeah.
Yeah, seems to
So
really
it's
enjoy his
fucking
time
wicked.
outdoors.
Yeah, he
Wish I was-
does.
I was
It's
nearby things like that.
Yeah, guys similar too. They like make sure that they carve out the family time, the outside time, and then they fucking do their art like fucking
Mm-hmm.
double time when they do it. And guy doesn't sleep. I don't know about Marcus.
Yeah, guy
So cool.
does not sleep.
No, not much at least. I mean, he sleeps. He's got to sleep. Everyone's got to sleep. But yeah, no, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll catch up with him, and he'll often be like, I'll be getting up at 3 or 4, and he'll be sending out the last of the packages sometimes. And especially during the Christmas season, that was out of control because he does it all himself now, and so he ships out everything and does all his tattoos. I mean, he's not tattooing as much now, but
I tend to get the same way, but the more I do it, the more I unravel, and I have to like really back it up. Start trying to get myself up at like about 8 o'clock and going to bed before midnight and all that for me to. I don't know. It's so much harder for me to be organized. I like the morning time is so precious to me. I love being able to be up and having just that clear-headed space where something about the light. I don't know what it is, but I can sit down and not think about anything else and just do my emails and go straight forward. But if I start waking up late because I'm staying up late and I feel like I'm behind on everything and it's just not the same. I always feel like I'm trying to crush things together before it gets too dark. And I do like working at night, but I get really obsessive over projects and like I'll burn myself out for being on something like this brush set, It's been
how long did it like how long and how many hours like
out on it.
Is it what countless hours and 6 months ish or
I don't know. Well, that's probably about how long it kind of took me, but the thing is like a lot of the time was just trying to developing it was not so bad because I knew how I wanted it to work, but adapting it, say like if you look at all of these little samples right here, like I can't control the way that the sample brush looks in this, and I have to like kind of finagle with the settings to find a balance between like to find the right way for it to feel exactly the way I want it to, but also for it to appear in this menu thing right here exactly the way I want it to.
Well, and not only that, but
weird.
Not only that, but like doing it so that you could use it is a completely different beast to making it so that like anybody else can use it.
Yeah, mostly just making the patterns recognizable in this list right here. Like being able to come in here and like there's all these little subtle settings on rendering here. If I take this and I mess with that, I come up here, like they will they won't be right. A lot of times it'll come out where you can't even really see what's going on. This little sample. So a lot of it was that.
Cool. And you said you had a new project or something special you want to show us?
Oh, I just have something on Photoshop
something new
that I've been having. Yeah, so having some fun messing around with. Let's see here. Let me get this out of my way. Where is my Wacom pin? I have all these pins sitting around out here. Yeah, this is something I've been working on for a little while here. You can kind of see this text. I did before have the Alan Turing pattern inside of this kind of tribal type of pattern here, but I'm trying to find a way to squeeze both the Alan Turing pattern into it, which is a sort of choral pattern, along with the type. And we had an earlier version here. This is actually, let me see here. I can actually.
Oh, that's cool. Like the black on black. Dude, the clients must fucking freak out.
Oh, let's see here.
I like when they do like black on black layers, but they'll do sort of like a color burn thing. And then over the darkest dark, it'll switch and flip flop, you know, between the blacks and the grays.
Say that again.
Yeah.
So like with this piece, the coral type design going over that real heavy stuff, I like whenever they overlap it, but they'll do sort of like a color burn situation. So it'll turn almost into white and the black is black, where the coral sort of goes over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think that you might even have some brushes that do something similar. Like, so it's almost like turning into the inverse when you hit the black.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have some brushes that you can use that will turn the pattern inverse, either with pressure sensitivity, or I've seen you do it before. So it goes from like a dodge to a burn.
I mean, I'm not really sure what you guys are talking about.
It's overlapping
Yeah.
layers of gray.
Do you have
where
a
it
screen
becomes
we can
negative
see?
space when they meet up, sort of thing. Gabe explained it a little bit better.
Finding a
So-
negative space when they meet up.
So
Yeah.
like when you turn the black pattern over the background pattern, where the background is.
And you're looking at my screen right here.
I'm looking at your screen, yeah. So if you take the pattern that's in the background, then we put the black shape on top. If you the pattern in the background, if it turns the foreground, we'll just say white, so that you can see the background pattern kind of inverted in the black. So you're getting it closer now, but right?
You could
but,
invert it that way.
I was just saying that I like the way that people build up multiple
I actually-
layers like that, and it's just really really intricate that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can get dangerously
Yeah, right.
intricate for sure. It's
Especially with those
you'll find yourself in a stencil
fine,
nightmare.
yeah, exactly. Just something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I thought I would say.
I wouldn't see I wouldn't see a usefulness in specifically. Let's see. Let me turn some of these layers off here, and I can make a little bit more sense here. You know, I could totally let some of that pattern bleed in through to this kind of tribal pattern that's over top. But I did actually specifically intend for this to solidify out and then actually fade out from a black into this, and then possibly doing like a sort of turning. I have this poem over here that I've been eliminating the spacing between and trying to find a really quick way to make like a almost like a block solid fill pattern, kind of like those things you see in the newspaper or books where it's like you look through it and you try and circle the words that you recognize, except there's words everywhere in it. But trying to find like a repeating sort of pattern to put the poem into as a different kind of texture inside of this. Because before I had it, where is that type? Did I delete it already? Maybe so. I think I did. Yeah, because it's not a good idea to be hanging on to all those old layers. It'll just confuse me later on. Yeah, this thing is a little Pandora's box here. I should probably get out of here before I'm unable to speak with anyone as I'm trying to like swim through all that stuff. There we go.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, eventually I want to start. I mean, I have been streaming lately, and the things I've been doing do make more sense. Or some of the stuff that I'm talking about here, it makes more sense if you watch those streams, but they're very slow. And it's very much like exactly what the process really looks like, which is tedious.
And you have that that's on Twitch. Is that where you're making those streams?
That's right. Yep.
I'm gonna try to find it. What's your? You just Brad Wooten on.
B.E. Wooten. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. You know, I do my tattoo designs, but I also like drawing dumb little characters and things like that. Just something that's the absolute opposite of all of these kind of, you know, contemporary, like abstract tattoos that are really important to people, you know, just some dumb cartoons or it's a good way to find relief from that.
Is that a seltzer?
Yeah. If you're,
What are we
if
taking
you're,
a leaf
yeah,
for the
yeah, it
rest
is. I
of
promise.
Got my own voice coming in again.
You
Let me
might.
skip.
I'm not
All
sure
right.
if some of this
No,
music
I can
is
talk.
YouTube approved, so you might want to be careful about some of the music.
Whatever.
that's playing.
We're on.
There you go.
Okay, I'll chill it. I was gonna say we're on the Reinventing the Tattoo app. Who gives a fuck? But I'll turn it off.
Yeah, we want to talk over it anyways. Probably. Yeah. Let's see. This was probably the stream before this was probably more interesting than this one's. Where that one's the one where I was working on the same project I just was. Let's see. Yeah, the one right. No, one before that.
This one.
Yeah, right there.
I wonder if you could play this double speed. Oh, so you got an hour and 30 minutes on this, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
It's
That's how long it takes, eh?
Yeah.
So for everyone, this is on Twitch.
Yeah.
So if you go to Twitch and search for B.E. Wooten, Wooten. Yeah, these are cool. That's funny. That what's the keyboard down there? Just
Oh, it just shows me what I'm doing with my hand. You know?
cool. Oh, okay. So you
Occasionally
get
I'm
all your
making some
shortcuts.
actions and things like that.
Oh,
Yeah, so
awesome.
that people can read and see what I'm doing. Yeah, and it's, sometimes I've seen it. People do it with the actual type. They'll actually say like Control+S and things like that.
Right.
I have these dual screens, and a lot of times I really am using them, both of them, most of the time, and it fits. I have this view where it shows my whole face in there, but it's kind of cut off, top and bottom a little bit too much, and it probably switches back over to the other way here.
Keep
soon.
the cat
Yeah.
around.
See, here I am. I love my cat. I love my cat. It keeps me company. Because I have no idea who's watching. People pop in the chat sometimes, but it reminds me of where my head should be. That cat's my little. It keeps me grounded.
Keep doing it. Keep going.
Yeah. You can see here I was putting the texture up inside of the tribal pattern here.
A little stretching. Do you do regular stretches when you're tattooing and designing, or is that just by accident?
I've tried to remember to breathe. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one all the way on the left is pretty much what I was talking about before, except with the rest of the coral design still coming through on the other side. But yeah, that's like you said, a stencil nightmare.
And that wouldn't be too bad. That wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. It depends on how fine you do it, because it depends. Most people can't tattoo longer than maybe 5 hours or so before some serious pain starts to set in. But that would be a really simple thing to do. I'm doing something that is hard to do here, which is to put the gray space, put the black and the gray in the pattern inside of that design, and not have to like duplicate that thing. So here I've made an actual that. So the image on the left and the right are the same image. It's just so I can see them both separately. But the image in the middle is a smart object version of that layer, so I could draw directly into that, and I'll have the results of both of those show through. It's probably unnecessary. I think it's just the only way I could think of on the spot.
Bruno's in the chat room. He says this is great with a thumbs up. Bruno's a sick tattooer and awesome artist. He does the Spanish art jam.
Thank you.
So everyone speaks Spanish.
Oh.
I don't understand any of it except for the laughter.
Particular font. Yeah. You understand laughing in all languages.
I understand the laughing in all languages and cerveza, but other than that, and claro.
Yeah.
And then do you have clients that are driving in from all over the place for the shit, or are you tattooing mostly Maine people? Or
yeah, I have. Oh no, well, it's. I mean, I do have Maine. People who are local if they aren't interested in this kind of thing, then they're all over it. But I do have also lots of people from Seattle and California and Europe is also, a lot of this stuff is popular out in Europe. All of this kind of black work
Sure.
type of
They're
thing.
not getting to the States this last year, though, no?
Yeah, no, I was being really hesitant about taking on some longer distance projects last year, but now at this point, I'm just,
What you going to do? You can't.
I have to move on. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if you're tattooing one or, even 2 people a day, like your exposure and risk is fucking so less comparatively to the other things that are going on.
Yeah. I'd probably be less at risk actually just tattooing people flying in like once or twice a week than being in a shop and tattooing 4 people a day, 5 days a week,
Right.
What can I work on? Oh, here we go. I've been doing some of this stuff here.
Cool. So we do have people in the rooms watching and stuff, but it feels like maybe another 10 minutes or so. Does that sound good to everyone, or what are your all thoughts?
That sounds fine.
Oh,
you didn't hear another 10 minutes? Do they
Just
have
a
questions?
quickie. Yeah, I've got a question. Brad,
Okay.
on
What's
the
up?
skull that you did the manipulation on, the one that's crikey, the one that you used for the tutorial on Tattoo Smart, the original imagery is like
the
very yeah, it's very softly sort of rendered, like lots of very light tones and like the gradients.
Yeah, it's more like
on
kind of
them.
like porcelain. Yeah. That was
Okay,
actually something that I made. And I sculpted it in Blender, and I've turned it around. I use it for it's like my skull that I use for anytime I need a skull and certain light on it.
right.
But
So
I find it really useful for this kind of stuff. Huh? Go ahead.
Would you have a sort of, say for instance, if I was looking through stock photography for something to manipulate, to use those the blend layers with, what would the recommendation, the criteria, what would be a good sort of set of things to look out for that would work well?
Well, generally I stay away from texture because the brush kind of the substrate pattern that the lines that come out and things like that sort of become the texture.
Right.
So if you find one that's like really really smooth or something like that, you can also do the same thing just by blurring the image of what you have, but not too much probably.
Okay.
What you could do is you could probably take a skull and actually use your smudge tool, and I'm going to do it with this model right here. Let me see, where's my smudge tool? This is fine, but if you wanted to like smooth out some of that detail, you can do stuff like this. You see all that hair is just disappearing right away.
Yeah.
That'll give you something smoother to work with. Just make sure that you don't, like, if there's an important dark fold or something like that, that you don't obscure it like that.
With you.
Yeah, but the smoother that is, probably the better.
Yeah, because that means like you don't lose the edge of a lines then, do you? Because I tried it on like quite a grainy picture, and the edges of the lines sort of followed the grain of the image as well. So okay, with you. I'll try that smooth.
I'm not sure what you mean by grainy. If it's like a low quality or something like that, you always want to use higher quality.
Could have been something like that.
Yeah. If you have a skull that has lots of little pits and wrinkles and all this kind of stuff in it, and then you run it through that, you're gonna get an interference pattern with that. They're going to interact, and the pattern beneath is going to be probably less well adjusted. The pattern should be mostly looking at the bigger shapes of the skull. And if you have a smoother skull, where you apply a Gaussian blur to the skull is another way to do it. yeah,
Yeah.
get around that. Here I am again
I'm
doing
trying to
this.
think of-
This is what I have to do for every new drawing that I start. I'll just set this top layer to multiply. Duplicate. Let me put in some color right here, just so I can check it. And this top one, the lighter color. Hue Satch. Brightness, saturation. Maybe go a little bit lighter, just in case I want to go darker. You'll lose some quality, lose some information in the image if you go really dark. If you go totally black, you won't be able to bring it back.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's go a little light. And then I like to do this. I like to grab them both like this, swipe across both of them, and then hit group. And it's always a good idea to actually name these things.
Yeah, no, I found it
Skin,
works.
return, and then you can lock it. Complete. What's that?
It works really well with photographs, doesn't it? I just struggled trying to get a. I didn't persist long. I struggled with the Protoplast people. That's all. But yeah, on photograph, it was all right. Yeah. So on this skull,
Every time I do start, go ahead.
So on that there,
is that a Tattoo Smart skull?
Yeah, that's the pile of skulls.
Looks like it.
So there you can see the sort of the grain here.
You see
and
the
there.
texture that's affecting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go up to your Magic Wand tool,
if
you're on that, if you have that skull layer select, you can go to your Magic Wand tool and do a Gaussian blur, and that'll you'll lose some of the edges between stuff, but
awesome.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. No, no one would know. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
I won't do that now because I didn't save it. Right. Cheers, Brad.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this was exceptionally informative. People dug it in the chat rooms, and I am sure people are going to dig the replays. Patrick, you want to let us know where you're beaming in from real quick, and then we could close it out with Brad.
I am beaming in from a very small village in West Wales called Narberth. We've been in lockdown a long time, and hopefully we're going to hear something from the Welsh Assembly Government on Friday. Maybe we'll be back at work March, maybe. Yeah. So in the meantime, doing lots of the reinventing activities. So all
awesome.
good.
And how can people find you?
I am on Instagram at Patrick Boothman. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks again for.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you're right.
Well, thank you very much for always tuning in. It's always a pleasure. And it's always, like I said, I do love Wales. It is a beautiful country. I'll definitely get back there to see you someday.
There you go.
Cool. And then, Brad, let's hear how people can get a hold of you, plug your set. Let's people remember the first thing and the last thing, right? So.
Right, yeah. Well, you can find the set on Tattoo Smart. And you can find me on bradwooten.com. Pretty simple from there. Everything else branches out from it. My Instagram, all that stuff. I live in Portland, Maine. Maybe soon, probably maybe a couple years from now, Alabama or Atlanta. Sometimes I make trips out west, but I've had a lot of things going on, and recently I won't be traveling for a while. So.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you very much. Guy had been beaming in. He said it looked awesome, and so far, all kind words. It's really inspiring and ecstatic to see you do this shit, man. It was fun. You did great work years ago when we first met, but man, you fucking just keep killing it, which is awesome to see the progress. So now we're at the awkward part where at some point I have to click the end button. But thanks again, everybody, for watching. And oh, you know what? I'm actually going to close this out with a little teaser from the Build a Tattoo Machine workshop that we have going on. So I'm going to play like a minute of that, and then I'll end the stream, and we'll go from there. Well, hey, thanks again, everybody, and we'll catch up soon. I think I'm going to play this video. Here we go. This is Tony Urbanix building a tattoo machine Paul Rogers style with fucking hand tools. He's literally using like files and shit. He's like, I'm not going to use the power tools right next to me because the whole point of this course, it's 8 weeks, 2 hours a course, and the whole point is to build it by fucking hand if you can. So anyways, check out this minute and then
That's very cool.
Catch up in the future. It's fucking amazing. It really is. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
There's Tony.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to number 4 of our Paul Rogers, how to build a Paul Rogers tattoo machine style tattoo machine. Today, we're going to be covering just a little bit of different geometry, going over the jigs, going over the assembly again. We have to finish our coil core construction. We have to finish our coil core assembly. We have to sweat braze our collet into the frame, which will hold our tube. We cut that out last week. We cut our cores out last week. We did not make an A-bar yet. We're going to do that today. And we're going to get started. I'm going to show you some stuff. Still working on the plans for our little bench jig here. Very important, especially when we're sweating together our collet into our machine, setting our geometry. This is a shader geometry setup. So last week, we cut our side plate, we cut our base plate, we cut our spring shelf, we fabricated a jig, we assembled the jig, we drilled, tapped, and screwed. Might be too close. Drilled, tapped, and screwed our pieces together. Then I told you all at the end of the lesson to go ahead and finish it out and cut it down. I cut mine down to use the rear horizontal binding post. And actually, we'll talk about binding posts if we get time later. They're a pretty quick thing, binding post and contact screws. During the week, I actually completed the Tcat frame. It's the same type of build. Again, using all the same geometry, just a different, a little weirder geometry on this one. It's a little more snubby, compact, as you can see. But it's the same deal. Same side plate, same base plate, same spring shelf. Same deal. It's just aesthetically, it's different.
Cool. Well, that's the Build a Tattoo Machine workshop. That's it's happening live. The last couple are happening live now, but you can always catch the replay. And yeah, thanks again, Brad. Tattoo Smart and what is it exactly called? Cyber
Cyber fluidics.
Cyber fluidics, and it's we got some of the pads.